So what I'm going to do before I actually fit the new seats, I've got two things I need to do. I want to replace the seat belts, which are well overdue for replacement. They are really frayed and damaged. So I'm just a bit concerned that they're not going to pass another MOT. So I've got some new seat belts to put in there, and there are a couple of different types. So it's worth having a quick look to see which one is your vehicle specific, and it'll give you an idea of how to do it. Now it's all pretty easy. You've just got basically a point here, which is a bolt. You've got a bolt at the back which holds the reel, and then there's two smaller bolts that hold the bracket, and they're the hard ones to do, only because they're probably going to be seized and corroded. But once I've got the seat belts replaced, I then need to focus on the wiring for the heated seat. Now the method I prefer to install the switches for the heated seats is I prefer to put them into the cubby box. It's a lot easier, there's less wires flowing around. Obviously we've got this sound defeater mat system in here, so it's a bit of a rigmarole to get the wires through, but it isn't something I would do anyway. But you do have the option of running the wires up into the dash, so you've got them in front of you, the switches for the heated seats. But I think you'll see when I get them installed on this cubby box, they're really easy to get to, they're out of the way, and they just make the wiring really nice and simple. So here's the bracket that we're talking about. These two bolts here go through to the sill, and you can get a socket on them, so we'll get some WD on there, some penetrating oil, get those loosened off, and they should come out okay. You've got another bolt as well that goes through into the B pillar, which again shouldn't be corroded because it's inside the vehicle. So that is the hardest part of the job, but the rest of it's easy. So we're going to go ahead and whip these out now. Well, first one snapped off, so I'm pretty sure the second will too. Wow, we got one. There we go. So the rest of the seat belt's quite a bit easier. We've just got a little cap at the top here we need to pop off. There. And then we've got a 17 at the top. And at the bottom, we've got an 18. If you're going to be refitting your seat belts, this is a good little trick. Just get yourself a zip tie, put it down to the bottom of the reel with it pulled out completely. Just do it up tight, and then the reel won't rewind itself, which means you've got more access, or the access you need really, for that bolt at the bottom. Otherwise you can't get a socket onto it. So I'm just going to show you quickly these two different reels. So depending on whether you've got a hard top, a 90, 110 county, you'll require a different bracket. So this one in my hand here is what we're removing from our county 110. And this mounts onto the back side of the seat box. You can see there the bolts on the inertia reel. It's a 3-point belt. Now, if you've got a hard top or a 90, you won't have that. You'll have one that's a 2-point belt. So the inertia reel and the sort of mounting point for the bracket that sits next to your seat box in the door aperture, that's all one piece, and then you've got the uppermost piece here. So it's just a little bit of a different fitment, and depending on what vehicle you've got, that's what you're going to need. So this will mount into the door channel in the aperture there where we've removed the bolts. So we're going to fit some new bolts. I've got new ones for those, so you can fit your old ones, but it doesn't come with new bolts in the kit. You do get new bolts, the UNF bolts here. The main fixings, the big ones, are 17. So both of these are a 17 on the aftermarket kit. And what's important is you've got this piece of foam. Now this sits in the inertia reel, so whatever you do, do not remove this until you've fitted pretty much all of this into the vehicle. So this is the last point that we fit in the vehicle, and at that point we'll remove that foam and we'll get it fitted. Now the reason that's there is so the inertia reel doesn't wind itself back in again, because it will get stuck and it's really hard to release. So don't do that until right at the end. So we'll remove our sticker here. Now, the other thing I like about these is they're actually a one-piece case. So unlike the sort of factory-fitted ones, if you like, from Land Rover, they've got a plastic housing with a flappy bit on the top that always gets broken off. And that means dirt and mud and everything get into these mechanisms, making them a bit shit. So this one's a lot better. It's all encased, it's all enclosed, and it's a lot more durable. So we'll get this one fitted and I'll show you how it's done. First position is the upper position we're going to mount. And again, you've got thread lock on this bolt, so there's no need to do anything. The bolt's all there, the space is there, so just wind it in, get it started. And then this should be free still, which it is. And we've got our front bracket, and as I said before, these are handed, so make sure you've got the right one. So this doesn't move at the moment because it's got this foam packing in there. So we're going to remove that. And now we can move. What you want to do is get hold of your strap and just very slowly extend it. Get it in your hole, start it by hand, and you can let that off. Get it on by hand as much as you can. Make sure it's level. See if that works okay. Beautiful. Really happy with that.